Have you ever felt like something was off about someone but you couldn't quite explain why? As if their presence alone drained your energy, twisted your emotions, and left confusion in their wake? The truth is, evil doesn't always show itself in obvious ways. It doesn't come with horns or a villainous laugh. It often hides behind charm, manipulation, and deception. The most dangerous people are the ones who pretend to be good while secretly working against you. But here's the good news. Evil is predictable, it follows patterns. And if you learn to recognize these patterns, you can protect yourself before it's too late. The great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, understood human nature better than anyone. Their wisdom helps us identify deceit, avoid manipulation, and safeguard our minds. In this video, we'll expose 10 undeniable signs that you're dealing with an evil person. These aren't just minor red flags. These are clear warning signals that demand your attention. If you recognize even one of these in someone close to you, take it seriously. Let's begin. They manipulate you without you even realizing it. Manipulation is the #1 weapon of evil people. They don't control others through force, but through deception, slowly reshaping your reality so that you don't even realize what's happening. They disguise their control as concern, their lies as truth, and their selfishness as generosity. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Spend enough time around a manipulator, and your thoughts start aligning with theirs, but not in a way that benefits you. They will use guilt, gaslighting, and subtle mind games to make you doubt yourself. They present themselves as the only person who understands you, making you feel dependent on their approval. I once knew someone like this, a colleague who seemed friendly and supportive, always offering advice. But over time, I noticed that every piece of advice benefited them, not me. They would plant doubts in my mind, making me feel like I needed their guidance. This is how manipulation works. You don't notice it until it's already shaped your behavior. Epictetus warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The moment someone else controls your decisions, thoughts, or emotions, you are no longer free. If someone in your life constantly twists reality, making you question yourself or feel indebted to them, recognize it for what it is: manipulation. And the only way to win this game is to stop playing. They wear a mask of charm and deception. An evil person rarely looks evil at first glance. In fact, they often appear the opposite: charming, charismatic, and incredibly likable. But this is just a carefully crafted mask, designed to disarm you and gain your trust. Their charm isn't genuine. It's a tool, a means to manipulate, deceive, and control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know the truth." And the truth is, appearances can be misleading. An evil person knows exactly what to say and how to say it. They can make you feel special, chosen, even lucky to be in their presence. But look deeper and you'll see that their words rarely match their actions. Their kindness has conditions. Their generosity comes with hidden motives. They don't help because they care. They help to gain leverage over you. I once had a friend who seemed like the most thoughtful person I had ever met. He always knew what to say, always made me feel important. But over time I noticed something disturbing. His kindness would disappear the moment he no longer needed something from me. Worse, he would speak badly about the very same people he once praised. That's when I realized his charm wasn't real. It was a performance. Seneca warned us, "A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver." Pay attention to that intention. Watch how they treat people who can do nothing for them. If someone in your life is excessively charming but lacks sincerity, be cautious. Evil often comes disguised as a friend. They lie without guilt or conscience. Evil people don't just lie. They lie effortlessly, without hesitation, without guilt. To them, truth is irrelevant if a lie can serve their agenda. Their deceit isn't occasional or accidental. It's a core part of who they are. They lie to manipulate, to control, and to rewrite reality itself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But for an evil person, these words hold no meaning. They will fabricate stories, distort facts, and twist situations to suit their needs. The most dangerous part, they lie so convincingly that even when confronted, they would exaggerate their achievements, rewrite past events, and create false narratives to make themselves look good. But when caught in a contradiction, they never apologized or admitted wrongdoing. Instead, they shifted blame, acted offended, or even claimed they had been misunderstood. This is the mark of an evil person. Seneca warned, "Falsehoods once told, multiply." That's why liars are constantly building on their deceptions, weaving new lies to cover old ones. The easiest way to spot them? Watch for inconsistencies. Their stories never quite add up. Their words don't match their actions. They tell one version of the truth to you and a completely different one to someone else. And when confronted, they become defensive rather than honest. Never ignore this sign. A person who lies without guilt is a person who cannot be trusted. And trust is the foundation of every relationship. Without it, there is nothing. They lack empathy and enjoy the suffering of others. A truly evil person is incapable of genuine empathy. They may pretend to care, but deep down, they feel nothing for the pain of others. In fact, some of them even take pleasure in it. They mock, belittle, or dismiss the struggles of those around them, seeing others as mere tools for their own gain. Seneca once said, "He who does not know how to be silent will not know how to speak." Similarly, someone who does not know how to feel for others will never show true kindness. Evil people lack emotional depth. They view relationships as transactional, only giving when they expect something in return. When you express pain, they don't comfort you, they dismiss you. When you succeed, they don't celebrate with you, they secretly resent you. Their indifference to suffering is more than just coldness. It's a red flag that reveals their true nature. I once worked with someone who seemed charming and friendly on the surface, but whenever someone shared bad news, whether a personal loss or a career setback, he showed no real sympathy. Instead, he would smirk, change the topic, or even make a joke at their expense. At first I thought he was just socially awkward, but then I noticed something disturbing. He seemed to enjoy seeing others struggle. Their pain made him feel powerful. This is the essence of evil, a complete lack of compassion. Marcus Aurelius taught, "What injures the hive, injures the bee." We are meant to care for one another, to uplift and support. If someone in your life shows no empathy, no warmth, and no concern for others, beware. This is not someone who will ever be there for you when you need them. And worse, they may even take pleasure in your downfall. They constantly play the victim to escape accountability. One of the most manipulative traits of an evil person is their ability to twist every situation in their favor by playing the victim. No matter what happens, it's never their fault. They refuse to take responsibility for their actions, always shifting blame onto others. Even when they clearly cause harm, they find a way to portray themselves as the ones who have been wronged. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But an evil person never reacts with honesty. Instead, they distort reality, making themselves appear as the innocent party while casting others as villains. If you confront them about their lies, deceit, or manipulation, they will immediately turn the tables on you. They might cry, accuse you of attacking them, or claim that you misunderstood their intentions. This is not genuine suffering. It's a calculated act to make you feel guilty and to avoid accountability. I once knew someone who was an expert at this. Whenever she was caught in a lie or mistreated someone, she would immediately shift the narrative. Suddenly, she was the victim. She would bring up past hardships, exaggerate minor grievances, and make others feel sorry for her. And just like that, people would forget what she had actually done. This is emotional manipulation at its finest. Seneca warned, "He who excuses himself accuses himself." When someone constantly blames others, refuses to admit wrongdoing, and uses emotional theatrics to gain sympathy. Pay attention. Genuine people take responsibility for their actions. Evil people rewrite the story to make themselves look innocent. If someone in your life always plays the victim, never accepts fault, and makes you feel guilty for questioning them, it's time to walk away. They divide and isolate people to maintain control. Evil people thrive on division. They do not want unity, strong friendships, or a supportive environment. They want control. And the easiest way to control people is to turn them against each other. They spread rumors, create conflict. But an evil person pollutes your thoughts, planting seeds of doubt and distrust to make you see others as threats rather than allies. They may say things like, "I don't think that person really likes you," or "Be careful, I heard they were talking about you." These statements are designed to create paranoia, to make you doubt your closest friends and allies. The goal? To make you dependent on them alone. I once knew someone who excelled at this. He would subtly turn people against each other by exaggerating minor disagreements and twisting words. Whenever two people started to bond, he would interfere, ensuring they never became too close. Over time, I realized that he wasn't just being dramatic. He was strategically breaking relationships apart so that he could remain the central figure in everyone's lives. This is how evil works. It isolates before it destroys. Seneca advised, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." If someone in your life constantly fuels drama, keeps you away from people who support you, or always brings up reasons to distrust others, be careful. A good person builds bridges. An evil person burns them down, leaving you stranded and vulnerable. And when you have no one else left, they tighten their grip. Don't let it happen. They exploit your kindness for their own gain. Evil people see kindness not as a virtue, but as a weakness to exploit. They prey on good-hearted individuals using their empathy, generosity, and trust for personal benefit. They know that you don't like conflict, that you want to help, and that you believe in second chances, so they take full advantage of that. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." But an evil person doesn't care about fairness or morality. They manipulate your goodwill, making you feel responsible for their problems while they contribute nothing in return. They will ask for favors, borrow money, or demand your time and energy, always taking, but never giving. And if you say no, they guilt-trip you, making you feel selfish for setting boundaries. I once had a colleague who always played the role of the struggling underdog. He constantly needed help, small tasks at first, then bigger ones. At first, I was happy to assist, thinking I was being a good friend. But over time, I realized something. He never helped anyone else. He never returned a favor, never showed gratitude, only expected more. That's when I understood. I wasn't helping him. He was using me. Seneca warned, "No man's good by accident." True kindness is mutual. It flows in both directions. But an evil person only takes. If someone in your life is always asking, always needing, always receiving, but never giving back, wake up. You are not their friend. You are their resource. And once you stop giving, they will move on to their next target. Real kindness is about balance. Never let someone turn your good heart into their personal advantage. They twist your words and gaslight you. Evil people are masters of psychological warfare. One of their most dangerous weapons? Gaslighting. They twist your words, distort past events, and make you question your own reality. Their goal is simple: to make you doubt yourself so they can control you. Epictetus once said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." But what if the provocation is so subtle, so well crafted, that you don't even realize it's happening? That's what makes gaslighting so effective. They will deny things they said, claim you're too sensitive, or insist that you're imagining things, even when you know the truth. Over time, you start questioning yourself. Did I misunderstand? Am I overreacting? And once they have you in that vulnerable state, they take complete control. I once had a friend who was an expert at this. She would say cruel things and then, when confronted, laugh it off. I was just joking. If I got upset, she would say, "You always take things the wrong way." Slowly, I began doubting my reactions, wondering if I was the problem. But then I noticed a pattern. She never did this with people she couldn't control. That's when I knew. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was manipulation. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If someone in your life constantly makes you question your own reality, pay attention. A good person will clarify and communicate. An evil person will distort and confuse. The easiest way to fight gaslighting? Trust yourself. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But an evil person's thoughts are poisoned. Instead of feeling joy for others, they feel resentment. Instead of helping those who struggle, they secretly hope for their downfall. This isn't normal jealousy, it's something darker. It's a mindset that thrives on negativity, competition, and destruction. Imagine this. You excitedly share good news, a promotion, a new relationship, a personal achievement. A normal friend would celebrate with you, offering encouragement and support. But an evil person? Their reaction is different. They may force a smile, give you a half-hearted, "That's great," but you can sense something else. A flicker of annoyance, a tightening of the jaw, a brief change in their tone. They don't want to see you happy. Your success reminds them of their own failures, and instead of using that as motivation to improve themselves, they choose to resent you. This resentment goes beyond passive jealousy. Evil people actively work against you. If you succeed, they look for ways to bring you down. They spread rumors, plant seeds of doubt, or try to make you second-guess yourself. If you fail, they enjoy it, sometimes even pretending to console you while secretly feeling satisfied. And if they can't sabotage you directly, they will at least make sure you never feel fully confident in your victories. I once knew someone who always pretended to be supportive. She would clap when I achieved something, but over time, I noticed small things. Her tone would change when she spoke about my success. She would make subtle comments like, "Wow, I wish I had your luck," or "It must be nice to have things just work out for you." At first, I thought she was just insecure. But then, when I faced a challenge, her reaction was completely different. She was too eager to comfort me, too quick to remind me of past failures, too focused on emphasizing how difficult things were. That's when I realized she was never really my friend. She didn't want to see me happy. She only wanted to feel superior. Seneca once warned, "A good character, when established, is not easily overthrown. But an evil person will try to break you. They feed off negativity, and if they can't find it naturally, they will create it. They will plant insecurities, make subtle digs at your confidence, and always remind you of your failures while downplaying your successes. If they can't rise, they will pull you down to their level. How can you spot these people? Pay attention to how they react in your moments of happiness and struggle. A true friend celebrates your wins and supports you in tough times. An evil person does the opposite. When you succeed, they minimize it. When you fail, they secretly enjoy it. Their energy shifts. Their smiles don't reach their eyes. Their words feel empty. You can sense it. Trust that instinct. But why do they do this? Why does someone take joy in another's suffering? It's because they are deeply insecure. They cannot handle the idea that someone else is doing better than them. So instead of improving themselves, they focus on destroying others. This is why no matter how much you try to explain, reason, or ask for fairness, they will not change. Their mindset is built on resentment, and they would rather see you fail than put in the work to succeed themselves. The ancient Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from comparison to others. Marcus Aurelius taught, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." A good person's thoughts are filled with self-improvement, gratitude, and encouragement. An evil person's mind is filled with jealousy, malice, and resentment. And eventually, those thoughts manifest in their actions. So, how do you deal with someone like this? Distance yourself. You cannot change them and you cannot make them happy. No amount of explaining, reasoning, or showing kindness will erase their resentment. The more you succeed, the more they will hate you for it. And the more you fail, the more they will feed off of it. You owe it to yourself to walk away. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that not everyone wants the best for you. Some people smile to your face but secretly root for your downfall. Recognizing this truth is painful but necessary. The moment you realize that someone in your life is thriving off your pain, cut them off. No warnings, no explanations. Just go. Your success and happiness should never be something you have to downplay just to keep someone else comfortable. Seneca said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." Surround yourself with people who genuinely celebrate your wins, who uplift you when you're down, and who inspire you to be better. And as for those who take pleasure in your pain, leave them behind. Because at the end of one of the most chilling traits of an evil person is their complete lack of guilt. They can lie, manipulate, hurt, and betray others without feeling a shred of remorse. No matter what they do, they will never admit fault. Instead, they shift the blame, make excuses, or even turn the situation around to make you feel guilty. This is not just arrogance. It's a deep-rooted refusal to acknowledge their own wrongdoings. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But evil people reject this philosophy. Instead of taking control of their actions, they choose to act without conscience, using deception, cruelty, and selfishness to serve their own interests. And when they are caught, they don't apologize. They justify. They twist the facts. They make you question reality itself. Imagine this. You confront someone for hurting you. Maybe they lied, betrayed your trust, or crossed an obvious boundary. A normal, decent person would feel some level of guilt. They might explain themselves, but they would ultimately acknowledge the harm they caused. An evil person, however, reacts completely differently. They might laugh it off, call you too sensitive, or worse, they turn the blame onto you. You're making a big deal out of nothing. If you hadn't done X, I wouldn't have reacted this way. You're always looking for problems. They refuse to accept responsibility because accountability threatens their illusion of power. This lack of guilt extends beyond personal relationships. In workplaces, they take credit for others' achievements and shift blame when things go wrong. In friendships, they disappear when you need them, but expect loyalty when they need help. In families, they use manipulation and emotional blackmail, making others feel responsible for their actions. No matter what happens, they are never at fault. I once worked with someone who always played the victim. If a project failed, it was never his mistake. It was his team's incompetence, his boss's unrealistic expectations, or external circumstances beyond his control. But when something succeeded, he took full credit. The pattern became clear. He was only accountable when there was praise to receive, never when there was blame to take. This is the hallmark of an evil person. They will never hold themselves accountable unless there's something in it for them. Seneca warned, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." An evil person avoids accountability because daring to admit fault requires strength. It requires humility, self-reflection, and a willingness to grow, traits they lack entirely. They don't seek truth, they seek control. And the easiest way to maintain control? Never admit wrongdoing, no matter what. How do you protect yourself from these people? Never expect an apology. Never expect them to change. You will waste years trying to reason with them, thinking if you just explain yourself clearly, they'll finally understand. They won't. They don't want to understand. The best thing you can do is recognize their nature and remove them from your life. Epictetus taught, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you recognize that someone will never take responsibility, stop trying to make them. Stop waiting for an apology. Stop giving second chances. Stop hoping they will change. Instead, focus on protecting yourself from their influence. If someone in your life refuses to take responsibility for their actions, walk away. If they blame you for their mistakes, cut them off. If they manipulate, justify, and gaslight instead of admitting fault, leave them behind. Because at the end of the day, you cannot fix someone who refuses to see that they are broken. And you shouldn't have to. The Stoics believed that true power comes from mastering yourself, your actions, your emotions, and your responses. Evil people want to control others. Strong people control themselves. Choose strength, choose clarity, choose peace. And most importantly, choose to walk away from those who refuse to take responsibility for the harm they cause.